Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Rodgers and Hammerstein's legendary musical Cinderella, which was written for television in 1957, is coming to Broadway for the very first time. It'll open on March 3rd at the Broadway Theatre. Under the direction of Mark Brokaw, it features a brand new book by Douglas Carter Beane and its choreography by Josh Rhodes. The production stars Laura Osnes, Santino Fontana, and Tony Award winners Victoria Clark and Harriet Harris. And I'm here in the rehearsal room to bring you a sneak peek.
Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. Impossible for a plain country bumpkin and a prince to join a carriage. And 4 white mice will never be 4 white horses. Such fol-de-rol and fiddle-dee-dee, of course, is impossible. But the world is full of sayings and fools. Don't believe it's sensible, and don't believe what sensible people say. And because it's daft and dewy-eyed dopes keep building up impossible hopes, impossible things are happening every day.
What attracted you to want to direct Cinderella?
Well, the material, I mean, I grew up with that music, so to be able to be in the room with that music every day, and then also the book Doug wrote, I thought was really original and clever and exciting.
Tell me what it's been like working on this with this remarkable company.
You know, working on this production of Cinderella has been extraordinary because it's like we're working on a premiere of a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Even though those two guys aren't in the room with us, it feels like they are. And because it's never been done on Broadway, and because it's a brand new version of the story, it really does feel like we're working on a brand new show.
Talk about your cast.
The cast for this production of Cinderella is extraordinary. We're really blessed. We have the best group of top-notch actors in the country who are all right for the parts, and it's just been perfection that way. Sometimes it just really clicks, and this is one of those times where the cast, and even the ensemble, all the way down to the last person in the group, they are all perfectly cast for their roles.
You know, as a director, I would think this would be like the fantasy job of all time to direct a musical like this.
You know, it really is, because it is it's pure joy to be in the room with, you know, every day. It's a story that is so uplifting and so emotionally true, and also so emotional and romantic that you know, it pushes all your buttons. You know, anybody who loves a musical, this is a show that pushes all those buttons.
Now, there are additional Rodgers and Hammerstein songs added into the musical. Would you talk about that?
Yes. You know, in this version of Cinderella, we are using every song that was written for the show, and then Doug had the catalog opened up to him by the R&H estate. And what he did was went through it all and found 4 songs that he thought were right for the story, and they are 4 songs that have never been on Broadway before. So they aren't trunk songs in that way. They're songs that have never appeared in any show in New York on Broadway, so it'll be their premiere as well.
What's been the best part of the experience for you up to today with working on this show?
You know, the best part of the experience of working on this show has been every minute. You know, I have to say that every minute I walk in the room, it is it's a pure joy every day, and every day is progress, and Doug is in the room with us every day and does a tremendous amount of work, and we have all the right people in all the right departments working with it, and so it's just one of those times that it's been really, it just clicks.
This has been a lot of fun, and it's very emotional. Cinderella is very emotional. I mean, the reason these stories are legends that last hundreds and thousands of years is because that little moment happens and everybody just starts crying. I like to take credit for it, but it's actually from 1620. But, you know, it's public domain. I'll take credit for it.
Your producer, Robin, was saying that you came in and gave this incredible pitch. How do you view this version? What attracted you to this and what you wanted to bring to it?
I knew that there was something. I went to the original French version by Charles Perrault, on which Cendrillon, in which they're all sort of based, along with the Grimm version. Grimm version was too dark. This was really about forgiveness and kindness in the world. And I thought that just seemed like a really interesting message, that there was strength in kindness. And so that fascinated me, and then I just started writing it, and I started listening to these Rodgers and Hammerstein songs. I went through and they gave me a list of songs that had never been heard before, and some of them knocked me out, including one. We have a song that was for Elsa von Schrader in Sound of Music that the rumor is Mary Martin thought it was a little too good and they cut it, and that's now in for the stepmother. So it was really a great thing to just find music and stories and put it all together.
The best part of working on this has been what for you?
I think getting together with Mark Brokaw again. I mean, we did As Bees in Honey Drown in 1996, and we did another play after that called Music from a Sparkling Planet, and then we always said, let's find something to do. And sometimes in theater, it just takes you this long to find something. So being in the room with Mark is pretty great. And I would say the other thing is Rodgers and Hammerstein music. It is, if you're a theater person, maybe if you're just a person or a New Yorker, I don't know, but we're wired to respond to this music in a really meaningful way. So I would say Mark, Dick, and Aki are the big three for me.
This must be the fantasy job of all time to be working on Cinderella, is it?
Unbelievable. I mean, well, first of all, Rodgers and Hammerstein, brand new, original debut. And second of all, that music, those dancing, all those dresses, the ball gowns, oh my goodness. And then for me, particularly, the magic transformations. You know, Cinderella's coach. Well, I didn't do the coach or the horses, but everything else I've transformed. Or I'm in the process of transforming. You know, we see Crazy Marie transform in front of your very eyes. We see Cinderella twice transform in front of your very eyes. And we see the fox and the raccoon. So that's exciting.
So what are the challenges for you with creating those magical moments?
Well, to make sure they work. That would be the big challenge. Well, because the part 2 is already underneath part 1. So we have no smoke and mirrors, no light goes out, just like this. My Martha Graham, transformational body language explanation. Anyway, like that. That's it. So it's very exciting, very exciting. And I've never worked in the Broadway Theatre, this Broadway Theatre. No, it's my debut there. So I don't know all the ghosts. I'm looking forward to meeting them. And seeing if they can get on our team and help us.
So what's been the best part of working on this for you so far?
The best part, absolutely answered truthfully. And no one's asked me this, so therefore I'm so ready to say, we started almost a year ago. And I'm working with Mark Brokaw. I've never worked with him before. I love working with him. I love working with Josh Rhodes. I've costumed him before in Chicago and other things, but I've never worked for him and Douglas Carter Bean I've always been in love with, but I've also never worked with him. So it's the new people. It's me coming in and meeting a whole new bunch of people. So I just love it. And I love the time. We've had a year, because you can throw out bad ideas. You don't have to still be stuck with them, things like that.
Oh, it's thrilling. It's beyond thrilling. I can't believe I pinch myself all the time. I cry in rehearsal a lot. I'm one of those. But this cast is so amazing. And there's just moments of magic in rehearsal that you just can't believe we're all in the room doing Cinderella together with the dream team, David Chase making this music even more glorious than it already is, and Mark Brokaw, Douglas Carter Bean. They're all just, everybody's contributing in such a beautiful way, and I'm so honored to be there.
So what's the first number you choreographed, and what's the last number you choreographed?
The first in the show? Well, the first number I choreographed in the show is a song called "Me Who Am I" that the Prince sings, and it's got some surprises in it. And it's sort of an interesting way to open the show. I'm very excited about it. And the last number that I choreographed is, of course, I don't know if I'm giving this away, but there might be a wedding at the end. So Cinderella might get together with the prince. I don't know if I'm giving this away.
So it must be a dream show to work on, I would think, for a choreographer. I mean, it's got the beautiful dance numbers, character-driven songs. Talk about that.
Well, that's why, for me as a choreographer, how fun is it that you get the ball, which is the most romantic thing you could ever do, is to dance a waltz where people fall in love, and by the end of it, they're madly in love, and they've got to be together for the rest of their lives. Come on, that's perfect. And then I get to do the Princess Giving a Ball with these villagers and these earthy people, and I get to do other fun little numbers. I get to do funny numbers with Harriet Harris and the daughters, and the gamut of what I get to do in this show is so exciting that it's not just one style of dance the entire time. There's a million different things that we get to do, and it's so much fun.
10 minutes ago, I saw you. I looked up when you came through the door. My head started reeling. You gave me the feeling the room had no ceiling or floor. 10 minutes ago I met you, and we murmured our how do you do's. I wanted to ring out the bells and fling out my arms and to sing out the news. I have found her, she's an angel with the dust of the stars in her eyes. We are dancing, we are flying, and she's taking me back to the skies.
It's been great. It's been really joyous. I think it's so nice to play somebody who, yes, has problems, but is the nicest guy in the room. And that's so liberating and fun to not have to. I mean, last year I was playing a lot of different, it was whatever, you know. So I'm talking about things everyone knows. It's a great opportunity to play somebody who really has everyone else's interests first. And it's really satisfying. And it's also, the music is so exciting. And to get to sing that, it's so fun to sing, but it's also fun to listen to. And to be in the room with these giants of the American musical theater. It's really both the grandfathers of American musical theater, and then you've got the best in the business in this country that do it. And that's exciting, because you don't get that very often.
There's a new take on the Prince.
No, there's not. I don't talk. I'm literally just a body, and I wave a lot. No, yes, of course. No, it's been Doug, Robin Goodman, the producer, who produced the last play I was in, said, "Do you want to sing again?" And I said, "Yeah, we'd love to sing. I haven't sung in a long time." She's like, "What about the Prince and Cinderella?" And I was like, "I don't think so. That's not really, doesn't seem that interesting, really. He's just there." And she said, no, read the script. She sent me the script, and immediately I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. And Doug has humanized him. He's humanized everybody, from the stepmother to both sisters. He's made them both different. He's added characters. He's really fleshed them out as people, so they have the same problems that everybody else has. And he's put the prince in a situation of about to be king and having no idea how to do that, which is hilarious, and it leaves him wide open for Cinderella, so he needs her as much as she needs him, which is great.
And working with this great cast and this great score.
Yeah, no, there's no, like I said, I mean, you couldn't find a better cast to represent such an iconic story and add their own twist on it. I mean, we have the best, it's the best in the country. It's the best available. It's really special.
And this Rodgers and Hammerstein score.
Yes, the score, I mean, we're all so excited. We haven't heard the orchestra yet, but it's 20-something pieces. It's full out. We've got great orchestrations by Danny Trube, and David Chase has done amazing work of really combining the score with the script and intertwining it and adding songs that nobody knows, that are as beautiful as the songs everybody does know. It's really exciting. It's very rare you get to sing stuff that is so, just fits voices so perfectly. And that's a great opportunity. I'm just lucky to be a part of that.
Tell me what it's like playing such an iconic role.
It's such an honor. I come to work every day just with a huge smile on my face because I can't believe it's actually happening. The process has been in the works for almost a year now, and we're so thrilled to finally be making it to the Broadway stage, moving to the Broadway Theatre in just a couple days. It's really so exciting.
How well did you know the musical?
You know, I didn't grow up watching the movie, but I was familiar with a lot of the music. I sang in my own little corner in voice lessons when I was like 10 years old. So I remember learning the music, but I didn't grow up watching the movie. So it's been fun to kind of enter into it with not really a preconceived notion of what it has to be, but I know it holds a very special place in a lot of people's hearts. So we're trying to maintain that expectation while also bringing it a fresh new look.
So tell me what it's been like working on this.
I mean, it's been so fun. It's a joy. The cast is phenomenal. I love everybody so much, and we really have this kind of mutual trust and like good communication, which is so important, I think, especially when working on, in essence, a new musical. And the whole magical aspect of the show is really super exciting. I've never been in a show that has this many magical quick changes and like special effects and things like that. And the music, of course, is timeless. It's Rodgers and Hammerstein, which I love singing, and just touches the heart. It really does. Their music is absolutely classic and timeless, and it's so much fun to sing.
It was great watching you do those two numbers today.
Thank you.
What do you love about the score?
It's so gorgeous and lush, and the lyrics, if you really listen to them, are so cleverly and smartly written. They have Rodgers and Hammerstein do an amazing job at like alliteration and using the same, the same series and sequences of letters and words in a row. Like instead of saying stardust, they say dust of the stars. It's stupid poetic things like that that really go above and beyond. It makes the lyrics really magical and really special and absolutely timeless. That still we are singing these gorgeous songs and they're still reaching people. We're going to have a 21-piece orchestra, which is phenomenal. I can't wait to hear them. And our music team, David Chase and Andy Einhorn, have just been absolutely amazing at kind of musicalizing the whole show and updating it for our version. There's five new Rodgers and Hammerstein trunk songs that we're adding to the well-known music of the show already, and they add immeasurable amounts of feelings and storytelling to the story. So it's really, really fun.
It is so exciting to me as an old man because I saw it in 1958 and I was so looking forward to it. I actually had seen Julie Andrews and Rex Harrison in the summer of '57 in Fair Lady, so this was such a big deal for me. And I guess I was about 16. I've been acting since I was 11, so it just brings back such wonderful memories. And to be a part of this bona fide, gorgeous, revival. I would say I'm one of the darker threads in this very beautiful tapestry, which is interesting for me because, I'm usually kind of wacky, and this is, he's certainly one of the villains, so that's a lot of fun, and we're really going to the dark place. Scare those children.
Someone has to. Yeah. It might as well be you.
It's my responsibility.
Talk about the role. What can you tell us about the role?
Sebastian is the Secretary of Protocol, and in this particular production, the king and queen are no longer. They've gone to their heavenly reward, and when he was only practically a baby, so I've raised him. And not only have I raised him, but I have sort of co-opted his power year by year. So as he's reaching his majority of 21, I want to get everything in place so that I will still be in power. And so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to take over.
I love the spin that Douglas Carter Bean has put on this Cinderella.
It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, he's just made so many smart choices and conceits that really shake it up, but maintain, of course, the beautiful heart of it. Yes.
Do you have a musical number?
I'm part of Ridicule, wouldn't you know? So, yeah, I'm part of that, and that's a lot of fun.
It's a huge thrill. I mean, obviously, to be able to do something on Broadway in an original production that you grew up with and have known ever since you were a little kid, it's kind of a unique experience. It's not one that most people get to have, so it's a great, great thrill.
Just so exciting. I personally am very excited because there's all these new songs. It's a completely new book. People have never heard it before, but they still know the classic fairy tale. So I think it's going to be very interesting and exciting for all the new audiences that come to see it.
And working together as the stepsisters, what that's been like, creating together.
Well, I sort of feel like I'm in comedy heaven right now. You can see who's in this cast. Brilliant, brilliant minds. I think Marla's hilarious. And then, Harriet Harris plays our mother, and Peter Bartlett, and everybody in it is a scream. And so we've actually had a pretty good time.
And I feel like we are a very funny sight gag as the stepsisters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we're very different, actually. She's a little bit more evil, and I'm a little bit nice and shy.
I'm not evil. I am not evil. I am misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
And yeah, I'm not evil.
But really, really funny. And, sings about why would a fellow, or what's the song?
What is that old rag?
Girl like her?
That's right.
Yeah.
Stepsisters Lynette, yeah.
I think you should go on the road together.
It's really such a thrill. When I started doing the workshops back in January, I thought, oh, well, it probably won't really be me. And, and I so fell in love with it. And I loved the music so much, and I thought, oh, I remember this music. It's part of my childhood that I'd really hadn't forgotten the story of Cinderella, but I'd forgotten how much that music had sort of permeated into my psyche. And it's wonderful to be around the Rodgers and Hammerstein score. It's so thrilling and so romantic. It's exhilarating. It's life-enhancing. And it's really uplifting in a way that you just think, oh my gosh, I feel oddly good today. I don't know that I should feel this good. And it has that, it's that lift that people who don't do this for a living want from a musical. And those of us who do this for a living, when we get to, find so thrilling to be a part of. So I think the room is full of incredibly talented people, and it's a real gift to get to do the show.
Talk about the role that you're playing.
Oh, well, she's not so uplifting. But it's a great, you have to have the balance. So there's all the light and the joy, and then there's this sort of rattler shaking in the background, and sometimes in the foreground. But it's a great part to play. The other side of the coin, and that's what my part is the stepmother. She's definitely the other side of the coin.
So what can you tell us about her?
She's just as bad as people think that she's supposed to be, and she has to be that bad in order for Cinderella to shine in the way, that yin-yang kind of thing, that symbol. So Cinderella would shine anyway, but I mean the contrast is great. So that's thrilling. My two daughters are wonderful. Marla and Anne are just terrific. So that dynamic is slightly different than normal, but or than the traditional story. But that's one of the surprises in the show. Who these people really are and why they are the way they are. And I think that comes through in this story, with not a lot of effort. They don't spend a whole lot of time about it, but the story develops so well that you really do understand who they are, how they got there, and why their worldview is what it is. So it's great.
If I told you how much fun I've been having, you wouldn't believe it. It has been such a joy. It's a very free, creative rehearsal room. Mark Brokaw and Josh Rhodes and David Chase and Andy Einhorn, our leadership team, have created a rehearsal space that's very safe. So it's been a lot of creativity, and we've been working on this piece off and on for almost a year. So we've had our sort of out of town moments in workshop presentations. So it's been a joy from beginning to end. Well, it's not ending, but
just the beginning
until now. From the beginning until now.
Talk about this great role, this iconic role you're playing.
This is a great role. That's a brand new role because we have the teleplay part of it, the impossible part, but also the part that Douglas added. And there's a new song in the second act that's beautiful that Bruce Pomahak from Rodgers and Hammerstein found for the show, and it's beautiful. It's called "There's Music in You." It's a beautiful, sort of climb every mountain kind of song for Cinderella that I get to sing to her. So it's everything that we loved about the old Cinderella and the old fairy godmother, but more.
And working with this great cast.
Unbelievable. Harriet Harris, Peter Bartlett, two of the greatest actors of our time. Santino, I mean, Sons of the Prophet, I was blown away by him. I've always been a big fan of Santino's, and the Neil Simon play a couple seasons ago, and Sons of the Prophet, and Laura, that's one of the reasons I chose this project, was to work with Laura. I think she's extraordinary. She's a beautiful person. She's as beautiful as she is on the outside. That heart is even more beautiful. It's possible, but it is. It's possible. She's amazing.
And what you love about this score, I remember growing up on watching the Leslie Ann Warren one.
Yes, it's a score for singers. It's a musical score. It's a singable score. It's a score with some of the most beautiful music I think that Richard Rodgers wrote. So we love hearing it. We love practicing it, and we love hearing everybody else's moments, and it's great. It's an American product. It's an American classic, and it's part of history. And then we make history again because it's never been on Broadway. So it gets a rebirth. It had the teleplay, it had twice on television with great stars, and now it gets to be on the stage, and it's going to be fun to do every night instead of just shoot it once. And
I have